morning. My Jackson's delivery has arrived. And this is basically, oh, I can't open this. Some paints and bits and bobs I have ordered to finish setting up my summer pocket palette set that I've purchased that we went through in a previous video. So I'll link to that in the description below. Oh wow, this is bigger than I thought. So first of all, I have a Skoda Prado travel brush, and I really love the brush itself, but it's only like a size 6, I think, and I prefer painting with a bigger brush, and so I thought I would get this, but it doesn't look particularly travel friendly, so let's just put that to one side for now, but I will maybe look at this and some other brushes in a future video. Okay, oh, I did order a pack. This is the trouble, you forget what you've ordered. This looks cool. What did I order here? This was oh yes, I remember. This is a travel brush that has got a flat head, which is not something I have. I just put the lid back on there before I cut myself. So this is by, I'm not sure actually who this was by. It says Midas Touch. Yeah, look at that. This is very nice. So that is potentially something I could put in my pocket art toolkit. We will come on to that. Very nice. What else? I did. Let's just get all these bits out and then I can get rid of this big box. Stuck in there. There we go. Right, let's get rid of that. So I did also order another Stillman Birn sketchbook. I've got a couple of these in the landscape format, which I do love, but I thought I would get one in portrait. I would have actually preferred the alpha, but they were out of stock, and this is kind of like the alpha but a bit smoother, so it's kind of nice for colour pencils as well. So that's that. I did also order some. These are really cheap. These are the Jackson's Studio sketchbooks. These are A6 size. These are to go in my my sort of daily journal that I have. I have just like a general to-do book and a sketchbook, which I've currently got as a ugly books. But when that's run out, I quite like using these, so I've just stocked up on these. My youngest also likes sketching, so these are good to give to him as well if he fancies sketching with me. So, okay, onto the paints. So I've talked about this briefly in my previous video, but I'm trying to put together a travel palette really for out and about sketching over the summer, and I purchased this demi pocket palette from Expeditionary Art, and this is it. So it's tiny, and I'm going to fill these pans. Okay, so we'll come on to that. So this is what I've ordered these paints for. So I did order a couple of convenience colours as well, so I'm really trying to follow Liz Steele's 6 colours that she recommends for her foundation course, and I have got some of the colours that she recommends, perhaps in different brands, but I did need to order some more in order to complete that set. And I'm really excited to be experimenting with that particular colour palette. So so these are the convenience colours I ordered. I'm really excited about those, but I'll put those to one side for now. But these are the Daniel Smith colours I ordered to go in her set. So transparent Red Oxide, Cerulean Blue, Chromium, and Monte Amiata Natural Sienna. So these are the warm red and yellow, and this is the cool blue, and then in my kind of current selection, I have got the other colours to fill this out. So I was going to try and use some colours that I have already got. Is that right? Does that add up to 6? It does. So let's go through that. So I'm going to use, this is the kind of earthy warm colours, and these are the cooler colours. So yeah, that's it, that's right. So this is what I'm going to use, yellow, red, blue. Yellow, red, blue. So I'm going to have lemon yellow and carmine and cerulean blue for the cool primaries, and then for the warm, more earth tones, I'm going to be using Monte Amiata, natural sienna, transparent red oxide, and French ultramarine. Then I thought I would have these as my convenience colours, just because I was on Jackson's and thought I'd order something else too. So Shadow Violet I have heard quite a lot about, and I've already got Payne's Grey, but I've used that for a while. I thought it would be nice to change it up and use a different neutral shadow kind of grey. So that's going to go in there too. And then I have seen people using Undersea Green and thought it would be great to have a kind of deep green that I could mix with these colours and use just by itself too. So that is going to be cool to try too. So this is my 6 colours plus a couple of convenience colours. So I thought I'd come back and just talk a little bit more about Liz Steele's 6 colour palette. I would encourage you to go to her website. I will link to this particular post in the description below. But this is her talking through why she chose these colours. And it's really designed for out and about sketching to kind of give you a really great mixing palette. I guess to kind of cover off all situations where you might need to mix a colour. And so she outlines what she's using, and then she has some thoughts on the colours of this palette. She does suggest some alternatives. She doesn't suggest Jackson's, but I'm going with Jackson's because I'm also on a bit of a budget. So, and then this is what really kind of piqued my interest, is just these beautiful range of colours that she can achieve from this these 6 colours. I think they just look lovely. The one reason I did buy the the Undersea Green is because looking at this, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of greens. So that's something I need to explore more. But perhaps having the Undersea Green will kind of give me a bit more variety in my mixing options. Although, yes, she does show some greens here, which is a bit more in detail. So that's great to see. So that's really just sort of showing you my reasoning behind using these, or taking this as guidance really for my 6 colours to fill the pocket palette demi. Okay, so right, I'm gonna fill the pans now. This is going to be a bit fiddly with these tiny pans, but it'll be worth it, I think, to have such a tiny little kit for sketching out and about. So I didn't mention previously, but I have actually put a piece of card in this little lip just to stop the pans sliding down into them. So hopefully that will help, and it'll keep. I'm a bit worried that there's not enough stuck up here, but I can fiddle with that when I filled it and it's all dry. So let's just see how it goes. Right, so I don't have a toothpick, so I found a needle, and I've just covered the end with some washi tape so I don't spike myself, and I'm going to use that to kind of push the paint into the corners. I've got to stop doing okay, so I bought a Cerulean Blue, but I have actually probably got enough in an old tube to fill out this, so I'm going to pop that away and use this. And I'm also debating whether to use the actual recommended Daniel Smith quinacridone rose instead of my Jackson's Carmine. I'm just not sure there's going to be enough in here, but I think I might, because I have used this Carmine in a previous palette, and because it's got honey in it, it does take ages to dry, and I think it was sticky for ages. It's a beautiful colour, but it's not quite the same either. This Daniel Smith is PY19. Oh, it is exactly the same, and this is PY19. So, okay, I'm going to stick with the Carmine because I'm not convinced there's enough in there. Or do I use it? Because these are tiny. So indecisive. Okay, I'm going to keep thinking about that. So as far as the layout goes, I'm going to do the cool colours down the left and the warm colours down the right. And I also need to swap this out with 2 tins, 2 smaller ones for my convenience. Colours, Shadow Violet and Undersea Green. So I have some spares. I think I will keep the mixing palette at the top so that it's near there, and I will just plop these in place. Okay, right, yeah, I'm not looking forward to this at all. So I'm going to start with yellow. So I'm just going to give these a bit of a shake in case they've got kind of some gum Arabic. I don't know if it helps a lot at all. Oh, okay, let's go. Right. So I'm just going to squeeze from the bottom. Just put the dollop in. Trick is not to overfill them too much. And then I'm just going to push this around. Just push it all into the corners, and that looks about right, to be fair. I'm just going to try and wipe it off as best I can. Off screen, I do have some paper towels to wipe the needle and a little bit of a water pot to give it a little jiggle off and clean it. There we go. Okay, so that's that. So can we get the quinacridone rose in and finish off this little tube? Let's see. I could do with a tube squeezer, couldn't I? Apologies if you can hear a panting dog in the background. I went for a walk with my dogs before I started this filming, and they're still pacing around the garden panting. Okay, that is getting quite a bit out, so this is messy. Be nice to finish this tube and have another colour that, oh, I don't want to make a mess on the edges there. This is where a paint tube squeezer would come in handy, I guess. Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to get anything more out of this. Oh. Okay, I think that should be enough. Let's just push it out. Now, one thing to remember is that the paint does shrink as it dries, so it is recommended that you do this once, let it dry and then top it up, but I won't have anything more to top up with that one, so I'm just going to probably leave that one. That could be a little bit fuller, but it'll do for now. Okay, remember to put these lids back on or they'll dry out. Okay, so lemon yellow done, carmine done, properly done, that is empty now. Okay, let's go for the cool blue. I'll just give it a little shake. We'll squeeze that in there. Oh, sticky. Just a little bit more. I said this would be fizzly. It is. Sorry, I can't seem to talk and squeeze at the same time. Okay, let's push this out. This is a really thick pigment. Give it a mix around. Push it into the corners. Okay, I might have overfilled that. Hopefully it'll shrink down to a sensible depth. It's gonna have like a little twist. Get off. Okay, that is the cools done. I didn't use carmine in the end, did I? I'm going to leave these out so I remember what I've got for my swatching. Fingers aren't looking too bad. Okay, right, so let's go with the earthy yellow, or the warmer yellow. And this is a Daniel Smith Monte Amiata Natural Sienna. It is, I think it's a single pigment, PBR7. It's already coming out. Let's give it a little squeeze. It back on. And we will just do what we've done the other two, three, can't count. Just give it a little mix and push it out to the corners. There. Okay. And for the warm earthy blue, Ultramarine. This one is actually two pigments, PB29 and PV15. So this is a Jackson's colour and it has honey in it, so I'm expecting this to be quite runny and might take a while to dry. Yeah, it's much looser than the other ones, but quite quick to fill. Next is, done it wrong already. I'll be able to swap these over when they're dry. I'm not going to fiddle with them now because I got paint everywhere. I might be able to though, actually, if I slide this out carefully. This is like those little puzzles you get when you're younger. Slide that out, and then I should be able to. I did bring this out earlier. I thought it might be helpful for pushing palettes around. This is something my husband uses for his shirt collars, and I can just slide that in there, shimmy that down. Yeah, that works. Then I should be able to just wipe off that. Should be able to slide this back in there. Then these two back there. Just going to wipe off where I've pushed the paint over a little bit. Put that back there. There. Okay, so the red. I'll shake. This is transparent red oxide and it is PR101. So yeah, Liz Steele basically picks colours that have got one pigment, which is great for transparency, I believe. But I do recommend you go and read her blog post on these colours if you are interested in finding out more. She is the expert, and I am simply following her recommendations and advice. So I'm going to give this a little mix. That loosens it up a little bit, and then I can push it into the corners. It does look a bit like a burnt sienna. So I'm guessing that this and the ultramarine will make quite nice greys. Okay, so that is the last of the essential 6. Palette is looking good. Just going to clean this up again. Okay, so that is the 6 done. And on to my little convenience colours, and I think I will put the grey there and the green here. So let's start with the shadow violet. This is PB29, PG18 and PO73. Right, go away, hotfly. So yeah, let's give it a go. I've never painted with these colours before, so I'm pretty excited. Oh god, this is pouring out already. Eager as me to get painting. Okay, and again we give it a little mix around. Hopefully this helps it stick to the bottom of the pan. Push it into the corners. Okay, I do not recommend doing this with a needle because you are basically wasting a little bit of pigment with all that in there. But, you know, it is what I had on hand. Okay. Clean. And now for the Undersea Green, which is PB29, PO48 and PY150. Undersea Green. Also pushing out. Oh, I'm making a mess with this one. Stuck to the side of the palette. There. Push out to the corners. And we're done. And so this is left blank. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up, but it's because it's another mixing palette, a mixing tray. So you can order pans that have the same material as this here, so you've got an extra area to mix. So I thought that'd be quite handy. Actually, it might be quite handy for my yellow so they don't get too dirty. And that is it. So remember, if you are going to do this, the paint will dry and shrink a bit. So I am going to let this dry overnight and come back tomorrow and film me swatching these out. So see you tomorrow.